Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about your final exam for 6th grade humanities. Can you believe it? You're almost done with 6th grade. It just seems interesting to me because last September feels like 5 years ago. Alright, so here is your assignment. You can open it up on Google Classroom. It says note before reading the directions here, please play the video. Good job, you're obviously doing that. For your fourth quarter final assignment, you will write 2 total paragraphs that address the following 2 prompts. So 2 prompts, 1 paragraph each. The first one, when Brian returns to normal life following his experiences in the Canadian wilderness, how will his experiences have changed the way he acts and or thinks in the future? So think about how he changes in the book and how his life from now on is going to be different because of his experiences. Second paragraph, once you return to normal life following your experiences during the current COVID-19 pandemic, how will your experiences have changed the way you act and or think in the future? All right, I think this assignment will go really well for people. Everyone's done an excellent job with Hatchet. And for the second paragraph, everyone loves talking about themselves. So this will be really easy for you guys. Let's continue looking at the directions. Be sure that both paragraphs are at least 5 sentences long. That is something that we as a 6th grade have struggled with this year. So before you turn it in, double check, are there 5 periods? Can I count there? Definitely 5 sentences in each paragraph, because if not, you will lose points. Make sure they're well written and well edited. Please be sure to use Grammarly or a similar online grammar and spell check. There is no excuse for spelling errors on an assignment. You have a week to write it. So there are grammar things that I know are tough to understand, but hitting spell check and fixing any misspelled words takes 5 seconds. Please make sure I don't have to look at any misspelled words. In the first paragraph, you do not need to directly quote the text, although you certainly can, but you do need to give specific examples that prove you read and understand the text. So I should be able to point to the page of the book that you're talking about, even if you don't give me a quote from that page. So if you say that Brian learned to be nicer while in the woods, note, that doesn't make any sense. He doesn't learn how to be nicer. So please don't copy my idea. You need to provide an example of how he became nicer and why. If you are struggling, you might want to start by looking at the epilogue to the novel, which you read on May 21st. So that talks about Brian's life after he returns from the wilderness. So that would be the first place I would start to look at examples of how he is now a different person. In the second paragraph, you again just need to provide specific examples of how you have changed during the ongoing quarantine / lockdown / social distancing. If you are telling me that you are going to be nicer in the future, tell me precisely what you have experienced that has made you a nicer person. So what about all this is going to make you nicer? Just explain that. Think hard about how you have changed. Are you more independent, more active, less active? Are there things that you took for granted that you now appreciate more? Are there things that you used to like that you now do not like? For example, I'll probably be taking a break from Patterson Park once this is all over, because I've been taking my kids there every single day, twice, just because there's nothing else to do. All right, please be sure to look at the rubric which is attached to this assignment so you can see exactly how you'll be graded. We have not used a rubric on Google Classroom before, so we'll check that in one sec. As always, please email me if you have any questions or need help with anything. Also, I've included an example, which we'll take a look at in a sec, to model how to complete this assignment. I made sure that my example had answers that are very incorrect or very unique so that no one could possibly copy from mine. Please use it for guidance as you begin working. Like all of your finals, this assignment is due at 12 p.m. noon on Friday, June 5th. I cannot be flexible with that deadline because I need to grade them before grades are turned in on Infinite Campus and for LGP. So if you put this off until 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday and then your internet doesn't work, that's on you. So please make sure you get it done earlier in the week. All right, let's take a look at the rubric, which can be found right here. All right, so there are 4 criteria, 5 points each. You can figure that out. That's 20 points total for the assignment. So the first criteria is the paragraph on Hatchet. Did this paragraph show a good understanding of Hatchet? Did it use specific examples to show an understanding of the changes that Brian underwent? So for example, if you just say, Brian learned to work hard, there was a bunch of times that things got tough and he worked hard, that's not very good because it doesn't show me where in the book he actually had to persevere. All right, the personal connection paragraph. Did this paragraph give a good explanation of how the current pandemic will affect the writer in the future? Did it use specific examples? So again, don't just say, I'll be nicer when all this is over. Explain what you have gone through that will make you a nicer person. All right, overall grade for paragraph structure. Did both paragraphs meet the length requirement of 5 complete sentences? Please just double check that each paragraph is 5 complete sentences. I've been taking off points for this all year and would rather not do it on your final. Are they formatted correctly with regards to things like double spacing, indentation, and correct font? When I show you the template, that should not be a problem. And then conventions. Did both paragraphs use 6th grade level spelling, grammar, and conventions? You should be able to get an excellent on this just by checking it using something like Grammarly or another online grammar spell check. All right, let's look at the template you have. You've seen one of these in my class before. Please just make sure that where it says name, you highlight that and replace it with your name. And where it says homeroom, you highlight that and replace it with your homeroom. It says delete this placeholder and write your first paragraph here. The reason I do this is because if you follow the direction and highlight this, delete, and start writing, it should be in the correct font. It should be Times New Roman, size 12, double space. When I see ones where it's not like that, I know that you somehow did not follow directions. All right, and then it says delete this placeholder and write your second paragraph here. Okay. And then the last thing we'll take a look at is I made an example one just because I know this is going to be tough because you're not actually in the classroom with the teacher. I have learned from experience that if I make an example that can in any way be copied, it will be copied. So you can look at my answers. They are very bad. I just wanted to show you what a paragraph, what this assignment will look like if it's done correctly. The assignment is done correctly, even though for the first paragraph, saying Brian will get nicer doesn't really make sense because he doesn't go through anything that makes him a nicer person. And then for the second paragraph, I said, when I return to normal life, my experiences will have changed the way I act in the future because I learned to speak Mandarin. So good luck copying and pasting or stealing from my example because I will quiz you and make sure that you actually did learn Mandarin, which seems like kind of a long shot. All right, so I think that is just about everything. Again, I will not be having coach class this week because it doesn't really make sense to go on Zoom and talk about the assignment. What will make a lot more sense is just to email back and forth with students. So if you need help with something, if you're struggling to come up with good ideas, if you want to know, did I do this correctly? Those would be all good things to email me about. All right, best of luck on your final assignment.